Hello everybody, Jermaine Promo here back again with another awesome video, and in today's video we will be testing if the OnePlus 6T is water resistant. Now we know that the company of OnePlus has mentioned that this one is splash resistant. It is not dust proof, not water resistant. It did not go through the certifications to get that IP rating, which would add an additional $30 to the product. But I have seen other YouTube channels who has talked about and opened this up that there is a sealant and adhesive that will probably get it past the IP67 rating. But what I will be doing today in this video is placing this phone inside of water for 1 minute, and then I'll be doing a series of tests. I will be testing the speaker, the headphone jack, which is technically the USB Type-C, as well as the fingerprint reader, face unlock, the alert slider, and the cameras, just to make sure that the phone operates and functions, just in case if your phone does get into water for up to 1 minute. So if you are brand new here at the channel of Jimmy Promo and you own a Samsung Galaxy device or you own the OnePlus 6T, make sure you guys hit on that subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications so you get notified for future videos. And make sure you guys hit on that playlist tab on the very top to check out the playlist that I'm making so far for the OnePlus 6T, as well as what I've been making and still making for the Galaxy Note 9 and the S9, S9 Plus. So the concept of this OnePlus 6T water submersion test is very simple. What happens if you accidentally get this thing wet? So I highly suggest not to do this at home. Do not place your OnePlus 6T in water. You can definitely do that with your Samsung Galaxy devices if they're the IP67 and IP68 rating. But with this one not having that rating, the company did not want to go into that liability of what Sony did, as well as adding that additional $30 price tag. So on the very top over here, I do have my water dish. The phone will be submerged in water. Heading over into the timer, I will set this up for 1 minute. It'll give a little bit of a chime, and also too, just in case if the water pressure does stop this timer inside of the water, I have the stopwatch right over here for the Galaxy Note 9, just to make sure that we are there for exactly 1 minute. So what I will be doing now is dumping the water inside and then starting the timer. So as this is sitting in water right now, write your guys' comments below the video what you think might happen after 1 minute. Do you think maybe the speakers are going to be a little distorted? Do you think the headphone jack might not work instantly? What do you think about that fingerprint reader as well as the face unlock? I will be playing with that alert slider on the very top right hand side. And what about the cameras? Do you think any water will get inside of this phone that'll kind of distort and mess up any of these features that we're about to test? So here I can actually hear that the timer is playing and going off, so I know for a fact that the speaker still works. So it has been the full 1 minute. So let's pull it out and let's give it a few tests. So right now there's a little bit of water still sitting on the screen, and before I give this thing a little bit of a wipe off, let's just see if the fingerprint reader will still work. So it looks as if it'll still work as long as there's not a lot of water within this area here where the fingerprint reader is. And so I was able to go through there. Even with a little bit of pressure points on the top, the fingerprint reader was still able to work. So now let's also test off the facial recognition. So definitely extremely fast. I'm basically pointing it right at my face and it was definitely unlocking. So now let's give this thing a little wipe off and let's do the other tests. With the handy dandy towel, let's get everything wiped off. So getting a close look at the very top as well as that little screen film protector, I don't see any water residue inside of that front facing camera, and I also don't see any bumps or any lifts with that little film screen protector as well. So it looks like it fared pretty well underwater from the very front. And as for the back, I don't see any water residue inside of those camera lenses either, so I feel like we're going to be pretty good when it comes down to taking pictures. So now that it's been about a minute after the water submersion, let's go ahead and test out the fingerprint reader, which works perfectly fine. We'll go through one more time, see if it works. It also works. Now let's do the facial recognition. And so I'm basically looking at the phone, Once I hit on the power button, it will unlock with my face, and it definitely works extremely fast. So no issues there. Now we're going to head over into the headphone jack, which is being done with the USB Type-C. So here's a perfect time to segue over into an amazing product if you own a phone such as the OnePlus 6T that does not have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So if you do have to use a little dongle that you have to plug in with either USB Type-C or the Lightning port in order for you to use a headset, then you're able to go onto Amazon and buy this little small piece of hardware that's referred to as the dongle dangler. So it's a very simple piece of equipment. You place it onto your keyring, then you take your female side of your headphone jack, plug it into your male side, make babies, and there we go. You're able to dongle or dangle your little dongle. So this is the one thing that I was actually afraid of when I first got the OnePlus 6T, is losing this little dongle that allows me to use a headset if my Bluetooth headset was to die or not have enough battery. So this little dongle dangler right here is perfect. I'm able to dangle my little dongle and not lose it. So now that I've finished with my plug with the dongle dangler, let's plug in the dongle dangler, place it inside of the USB Type-C port on the very bottom, and let's make sure that the audio works. So I'm going to hit on play, turn up the volume. Here's the two little earpieces. I'm actually going to place it right over to my little mic. And there you can see that it is playing. So it's probably not going to pick it up too loud, but both of these actually do in fact work. I did place it right up to my ears, and both sides, there's no crackling, it's not distorted, there's nothing wrong with this headset. So the USB Type-C area, the little port, is going to be good if it gets a little wet. Now let's head over to the speaker test. We're going to play a video on YouTube and make sure that the speaker on the bottom works and it's also not distorted or having any type of crackling. Here's your coupons, your deals, so you can find something. So it gets up to its normal volume that it always has gotten to. There is no crackling, there is no distortion. The sound sounds perfectly fine. The dude talking is amazing. He sounds like a genius. So now that we know that the speaker definitely works, now let's head over into a couple other tests. So on the very top right hand side of the OnePlus 6T is going to be your alert slider. If you slide it up all the way to the very top, you will be placing it inside of silent. Middle is going to be vibrate, and then the one at the very bottom is going to be ring. So as I went through, I wanted to go through and make sure that no water has gotten inside of there. That would allow it to not go inside of a certain alert or sound mode. And it looks like everything checked out, and so it looks like we're also good to go with the alert slider. Now let's head over to the final test where we test both of the front and rear cameras. I want to make sure there's no droplets or a lot of blurriness or anything like that. So now I'm going to take a picture of the keyboard, take a picture of my little paper pad right over here. And then also, I guess just for kicks and giggles, let's look at my little ring light. And so you are going to see a little bit of white area. It's just the way that the camera works. It's not the top of the line camera for the rear camera. I was a little disappointed with the rear camera itself with the OnePlus 6T, but the front facing camera is amazing. So it looks as if everything right here is looking pretty good. Now we're going to head over to the front facing camera, which is probably my favorite camera on this phone. So now we're going to go right here. Let's take a picture. And now that we are done and finished with that, everything looks perfectly fine. There's no issues with this. It looks just like it did from before. So this concludes the water test I wanted to do for the OnePlus 6T. Now this one is not dust proof. It is not water resistant. OnePlus did not go through the certification process of the ingress protection, which is giving it a IP rating for dust or water. So they stated it's a little bit of a splash resistant, but I've tested it in case if you do accidentally drop it in water, you will be fine as long as it's up to a minute. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. But please don't place this in water. Do not recreate this at home. I just wanted to see if any of these other videos, all these other channels who was opening up this phone and also noticing the adhesive and everything else around on the inside, a little bit of waterproofing that was kind of happening. But again, no IP rating, no certification, but it did pass all of the tests for being submerged in water for 1 minute, and it was less than a foot. This was definitely sitting in just a couple inches of water, but still passed with flying colors. So I hope that you guys have liked this video. If you guys did, please give this thing a huge thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit on subscribe. You can subscribe right over here on the very bottom left-hand side with that small little red circle. Share this video with your friends and family and social media sites. And outside of that, I'll see you guys later.